Finally, a do-it-yourself plastic repair product that works. Easy ABS Repair is a heavy-bodied liquid ABS resin designed to easily repair any damaged ABS plastic. Even the most severely damaged plastic can be repaired at a fraction of the cost of new parts. There's nothing to add or mix up. Use the resin right from the bottle. The resin air cures in 24 hours and chemically welds the plastic in an unbreakable bond. The resin is sandable and accepts paint like the original ABS plastic. This video details the repair on a Ford dually plastic rear fender. The fender is ABS plastic and is easily repaired with the Easy ABS Repair Kit. This video shows the repair from start to a painted finish. I hope you find it helpful. The edges of the hole were punched in. The first step is to try and bring the edges together to make the cracks as close as possible. You want to make the repair close to the original shape so that you do not need to use a lot of filler. Never use a two-part filler like Bondo, as they will not stay in place. They expand and contract with temperature differently from the plastic and will chip and fall out. Fill with the resin and the fill will weld into the plastic and not come out. Your repair will be a perfect permanent repair. Use a Dremel tool to V-groove out the cracks. You want to go at least 50% of the way through the plastic, but not more than 75%. Make the groove about 1/4 inch wide. If you have some cracks that you could not get back together, work on the close cracks first. Once you have filled those close cracks and the resin has cured, you can use the Dremel tool to clean up the other cracks and try to get them to fit better. Fill in the grooved cracks and let the resin flow in to fill the crack level with the surface. Do not overfill the cracks, as you will need to sand them flat with the surrounding fender. Once you have filled all of the cracks, use a sander or grinder with medium to coarse sandpaper to remove the paint and get down to bare plastic. I use 80 grit paper to do this initial sanding. Sand the area with the hole all the way up to the cracks. This is the area we will fill with resin. If you notice very small air holes in the resin, do not worry about them. This is normal and we will deal with them later. Using the ABS sheets that come in the kit, I used a pair of tin snips to cut a piece to fill the hole. I then put the resin around the hole and put the cut piece into place. I then filled the low area around the hole with resin. Using a plastic body spreader purchased from the auto body section of my local auto parts store, I smoothed out the filled area. The resin starts to cure as soon as it is exposed to the air. The surface will begin to harden, so do not try and smooth it as you would Bondo. Try not to go over the area too much, as the spreader will pick up the drying surface and rough up the surface of your filled area. Do not worry about cleaning the spreader. The resin will not bond to this type of plastic, and once cured, the resin will peel off the spreader, leaving it like new. Continue filling the low area around the hole. It's okay to layer the fill, as the resin will chemically weld to the previous layer, just as it does to the original plastic of the fender. Let the resin cure for 24 hours. You can see the resin does not stick to the spreader and can be peeled off and the spreader reused. I will continue to sand the filled area. I have changed to 100 grit paper. I will continue to sand until the area is smooth and even around the edges. You can see that there are a few low spots in the fill. Add more fill until all of the low spots are filled. It's okay to layer the fill, as the resin will chemically weld to the previous layer, just as it does to the original plastic of the fender. I have changed to 120 grit sandpaper. and give the filled areas a final sand. All of the low spots are now filled, and we are ready to move on to priming and spot putty application. Start by masking off any lights or trim that you do not want to get painted. Run the masking tape around the area, then use masking paper or newspaper. Go from the tape out to prevent overspray. When you're masked about 2 feet around the repair, you are ready to prime the area. I use a primer that has "Made for Plastics" on the label. Plastic Coat is a brand I use a lot. Apply the primer in short, even strokes. When the primer is wet, you'll be able to see any imperfections. There will be tiny air holes in the filler, and this is normal. We will now use a spot or glazing putty to finish the surface. Primer sticks to the plastic and paint on the fender, and the spot putty only sticks to the primer. Spot putty is a single-part putty that is just very thick primer. Apply the putty and sand when dry, going down to 120 grit paper as you continue to finish and sand. By the time you are finished, you should be down to 200 to 240 grit sandpaper. When you are satisfied that you are ready for the finished coat, wipe the area down with a tack cloth. A tack cloth is a pre-paint sticky cloth that will remove any dust and grit. These tack cloths and all other materials I have used on this project are readily available at most auto parts stores that carry auto body supplies. Once you've wiped down the area with the tack cloth, you are ready to start spraying finish coat. Spray in even coats. Do not hold the nozzle on the spray can open as you come to the end of a stroke. Do not try and put too much paint at a time, or you will cause runs in the paint. Many light coats are better than fewer heavy coats. Make sure you put on enough in one coat that the surface is shiny. When you're happy with your finish coat, let it dry and remove the masking tape. Take your time and enjoy the job. If you make mistakes, you can always back up a step and continue. This is the end of this video. I hope you have found it helpful. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will be informed when the next video is available. There are many more repair videos on our website, easyabsrepair.com.